We shot a video a while back talking about one of the most important things you can do in your relationship is focus on what's wrong, not who's wrong. Because that's the only way you're going to prevent and stay out of what we call the right fight. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about that. I want to talk about how that looks. In fact, I'm going to create a system for you to check in with each other, keeping up on your feelings, being able to talk about your issues, and again, staying focused on what's wrong, not who's wrong. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and welcome. Welcome to My 5 Minds. This is where we're going to focus on helping you be better, do better, and feel better by learning the systems, by learning a new psychology, a new neuropsychology called systemology. Today particularly is part of our relationship series. Today we're going to talk about the vowels in communication. Mike and Marjorie came into the office and things had not gone so well over the weekend for them. The issue for her was that as soon as Mike got up Saturday morning, he got dressed and got out into the garage, grabbed his golf bags. Boom, he was out the door. And she was super hurt, super frustrated, because that's not at all what she was thinking that Saturday was going to be like. She was hoping to spend some time with the family. So with him walking out the door, all of her plans were gone. And she was frustrated and annoyed and didn't know how to talk about it, didn't know how to share what she was feeling with him. Now, in communicating, what I want to do is I want to teach different skill sets. In that session with Marjorie, I wanted to teach her a skill set known as the communicator skills. How do we say things? How do we open up and talk about things that are hurting us, upsetting us, and bothering us in a way that doesn't create a right fight, create blame game, create more conflict? And so I wanted to help her take her situation that happened on Saturday and teach her to redo it. How do we talk about this situation in a way that's going to be helpful and constructive? His job was just to listen, because he wasn't working on anything yet. It was her session. It was her time to learn to communicate. What I showed her was the same thing I'm going to show you, which is our communication vowels. The vowels are basically a way to remember. It's a mnemonic device to help you remember what are the 5 things I got to do when I communicate. A, E, I, O, U. A. A stands for ask. You got to ask and see if now would be a good time. E, experience. What did you see happen? No blame, no attacks, just information. I, what was your feelings, thoughts, reactions? I want to hear I messages. I want to hear you talk about you. I know it doesn't sound like an I, but that's an I. Then we want to go O. O is about the other. We want to make really clear, specific efforts to make sure we're not talking about the other. And then U, we want to check for understanding to make sure we were heard. So I had Marjorie start from the very beginning. And I said, I want you to go through this conversation as if you've never had it, as if he doesn't know what's going on. And I want you to talk to him about what's going on. And let's use these 5 steps to see if we can help you share whatever it is you're feeling. So Marjorie starts off. And even though we're in session, I want her to start off with an ask, because I want her to practice. I want her to practice the skills. So she starts off and asks specifically, hey, can I talk to you about something? My wife Linda does that all the time to me. She's always checking, hey, can I talk to you about something without you getting upset? I never know how to answer that. I just assume, yeah, I guess. But you got to check. You got to make sure that that person is available and ready and open to having a conversation. If they're in the middle of something or they're not in the right mood for something, having the conversation is not going to work, no matter what tools you use. So you always got to start with an ask. Are you available? Can we talk about something without you getting defensive? You got to start with the ask. So she asks. He says, okay, sure. Then she goes to experience, which is the second one. Hey, on Saturday, you got up and grabbed your bags and left. And I didn't quite know what to do. It was kind of a shock for me because I was expecting we were going to do something else. I was thinking we were going to have some family time. You've been busy a lot at work. You've been doing a lot of things at the office, staying late. I was kind of expecting that we would spend some time together. I want to talk about I. So I want to talk about my feelings. So I asked her, what do you feel, Marjorie? Tell him what you're feeling. Because so far she's just describing the events. I was hurt. I was disappointed. I was frustrated. I guess I felt unloved. I felt like I wasn't the priority, or the family wasn't the priority. Then O, she has to acknowledge that he is not the problem, because that's only going to set off a right fight. So she has to make sure she's clear. Hey, I don't know what you were thinking. I am not sure where your head was at on Saturday. I don't know what your expectations were. I'm going to assume that you didn't really intend to just leave us. You were just going to play golf. But I need to let you know where I was at. This was my experience. I felt abandoned. You may not have meant that, but that's the way I felt it. And then our last part of that is understanding. She needs a check for understanding. So, what do you think, Mike? What did you hear? Well, I heard that you're frustrated because you never take care of yourself, and so you get mad at me every time I take care of myself. Okay, that's not understanding. He was expressing his side of things. He was expressing his perceptions, his truth, which is fine, but that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is having her practice expressing her reality, her truth, her experience of that moment. And that's what we're focusing on. And we're asking him to see if he can have understanding to what she just said. He doesn't have to agree. He doesn't have to apologize. He doesn't have to fix it, which is what guys love to do. He just needs to show understanding. So she again checks. Mike, I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm glad you get some time for yourself. I'm just checking to see, do you understand? Did you hear? Did you get why I was upset? Well, he thinks again. I guess you had some kind of expectations. You had some kind of plan for us. And I kind of sabotaged that. Kind of, yeah. I just felt hurt. I felt like I wasn't your priority. Marjorie again clarifies her position. So you, Mike again tries, so you wanted to spend some more time with us. Yeah, I did. So I'm not in trouble? No, I was frustrated. Oh, okay. I love when couples do that. But it was really important for them to walk through that process. And for her be able to, I think of it as confess her reality, confess her truth, confess her feelings. I hope you noticed, I don't need an apology. I don't want apologies. I don't need anybody to assess blame. I don't need anybody to fix it, because there's nothing to fix. What we're working on right here, right now, is communication. We're working on talking about what's wrong. We'll fix things later. We'll look at expectations later on, problem solve, things like that. But this moment, their skill is very simple. Their skill is to focus on being able to talk and to share their ideas without going into a fight. And that's what they did. So it was a very good conversation for them. Now, homework for them and homework for you. What I want you to do every night, pick a time, 9, 9:30, 10, whatever you want. I want you guys to be in bed, snuggled up, and I want you to practice communicating your vowels. I want each of you to be able to talk about something that bothered you, upset you, irritated you, frustrated you. And again, we're not fixing, we're not apologizing, we're not blaming. We're just practicing our 5 steps. 1, ask. Even though you're in bed there for the reason of communicating and checking in, I want you to ask. Practice, practice, practice. 2, share your experience. This is the way I saw it. This is the way I heard it. This is what my truth was. 3, I messages. I was hurt. I was upset. I was sad. I felt betrayed. Whatever, doesn't matter. Then we want to go for O. O is, hey, you're off the hook. This is not about you. This is not about the other person. This is about my feelings and my experience. And then you want to check and make sure there was understanding. Try it this week. Add in the comments how it went. My guess is it won't be perfect because that's our world. It's an imperfect world where we're practicing. But share your experience. I want to hear what went on for you. I'm sure other people are going to benefit from hearing your successes or your failures, because that's how we grow. If you like this video, I also want you to like this video. And if you want to learn more about psychology, about relationships, about life, subscribe. I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and you're watching My 5 Minds. Talk to you soon.